Your dad is right so often.
It's so frustrating.
It's so irritating.
You don't need to tell us.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Well, he was wrong about one thing. Last year, he said to me in that big crowd, that scrum, I said, who's going to win this election? And he had said, Hillary will win it, quote, and she'll win it by a wide margin.
He thought that at one point.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
What was it like around him after she lost?
Well, I felt the same way he did. So he was at my house on election night. It was.
What was that like? Was he surprised, or as he started to see Wisconsin and Michigan come in? These
Once you start to see that.
I mean, at a certain point we knew what was happening.
Right.
And it was surprising.
Did he leave early? Did he say I'm out?
He didn't leave early. I'm trying to think about what time he left. I mean, he left when it was clear what was happening.
Did it surprise all of you guys what happened? It
Surprised me.
I think it surprised most people. I think it surprised Trump.
Yeah.
But
I do too.
that doesn't, I mean, he won. I mean, so you can't take that away from him.
I wasn't that surprised.
Really?
I was surprised.
No, I wasn't as surprised.
Why weren't you? Because you're the New Yorker, right?
Well, yeah, upstate, though. I'm on a farm.
Oh,
so
okay.
let's not get-
He's not on a real farm.
Right, yeah.
It's under 100 acres. It doesn't count.
Because he was working on a whole different level of consciousness. I mean, so I felt like in the debates in particular, they weren't going to be debates. He was going to be like in a different realm. That doesn't mean it's better or worse, but it's different. So there was no getting at him in a way, and he was saying things that were, just what got him elected. Things that regardless of what was going to happen, he was saying them to get himself elected. But I also think he was surprised
I'll tell you
that he
something
won.
that's fascinating. And they don't compete with you, so I'll say it on air. But and I'm pretty sure this is correct. RFD TV, which is really the only rural network, okay, in the 57 million households or something. Trump bought up. I think this is right. The 3 weeks prior to the election, he bought every slot there was. No other candidate. I mean, Hillary didn't buy 5 minutes on it. So they obviously had some idea what they were trying to tap into. I mean, it wasn't just dumb luck. I mean, it was. I mean, they had certain parts that were planned out that they delivered on.
Well, you've got your farm, and now he's done a big effort with the dairy farmers. He's trying to protect farmers from what he calls unfair trade deals. Do you say that's good for farmers?
The trade deals are so convoluted that I think that, it's very hard. This country, our farmers, I mean, I'm one of them. That was somebody who didn't like what I was going to say. We have a lot of advantages and protections in the world in different ways. So I don't look at it that way. I think the most interesting thing is the farmers out in California who can't get workers now to cut lettuce or pick strawberries, and they're like, well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't really think he was going to do this, and it's really fascinating.
Tightening immigration.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ICE is showing up in places that they've never shown up in before. And I believe in strong border security. I mean, that's not, but how you implement policies has unintended consequences sometimes. So I think, really thinking this through and doing it intelligently is what needs to be done.
And Susie, you're big on education and educating those who really get the short end of the societal stick.
Right.
President Trump picked Betsy DeVos. She was controversial,
yes.
Big on school choice. Do you think it'll end up being a quality choice? Or
be careful.
I know. I'm thinking I need to be careful.
Right.
I'm not the biggest fan of Betsy.
Why not?
Well, first of all, she has no experience. I don't think she's set foot in a public school. Maybe she has now, but she hadn't. I don't think anyone in her family's been educated in a public school. I just think she's the wrong person for the job.
And arts, you, of course, as a musician, not that it's going to happen for sure, but President Trump put out a sort of a wish list of budget cuts, and one of them was the arts endowment.
Right, exactly. And the work we do with girls and women at the foundation as well is just, it takes a major blow.
But yet, your dad and his portfolio overall, guys, has jumped dramatically since President
so
Trump.
But it's like a lot of things. There's always ups and downs, pros and cons. I mean, for the first time in 8 years, we've had a president who supports law enforcement. That means something to me. So, I mean, there's just no comparison, But the problem is there's always trade-offs. And so the person who can be the most balanced and the most consistent you know, you can't just be out there in these little surges and have your temperament influence certain things. So I remain hopeful, but he is supportive of law enforcement, the military, and I think in today's world, those are things that are pretty important.
Well, in the end, I think your dad's net worth is going to go up because of the Warren and Charlie Jell-O mold sales.
Oh yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, the Jell-O mold sales.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great to see all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
You know, it's like that movie, same time next year.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Groundhog Day.
I'm sure impressed by the occasion.
For you, anything, Howie.
Good. We like it.
Take care.